Why your Google ads are not spending budget. Hi, my name is Joe Balestrino, and if this is the first time you've been here, I'm a digital marketing expert. I started my first SEO agency. Why your Google ads are not spending budget. Hi, my name is Joe Balestrino, and if this is the first time you've been to one of my videos, I'm a SEO Google ads expert. I started out in 2004. That's when I launched my first agency. Sold it in 2008. Since then, I've written a few books. I've worked for agencies. I started another agency. I've worked in-house. And for the last 7 years, I've consulted on SEO and Google Ads. I've been cited in the news as someone that's experienced in Google Ads and are frequently asked about how Google Ads work and SEO and Google in general. And I share this information with you so that you know exactly where this information is coming from. This is based on my experience working on Google Ads for clients on a daily basis. Common issues and how to fix them. The most common reason I see that campaigns or accounts are not performing well, it's usually because the account is new. So sometimes it takes Google a little bit longer to verify everything, your billing, your to get a good quality score on the keywords, the landing pages, and all of that. So sometimes this takes a little bit longer. So if you just launch the account and you have a couple of keywords in there, make sure everything is active and that nothing is paused, because if it's paused, obviously it's not going to serve any impressions. But a lot of times a brand new account is going to take a little extra time, more time that we typically like to see. Could be 2-3 weeks, sometimes even longer. Too many keywords in an ad group. Yeah, that's too many. If you have a large amount of keywords in a specific ad group, it's just too much keywords to cover whatever your budget is. It's going to give you a poor quality score, and poor quality score keywords typically don't get served. So do better than just dumping every keyword you could possibly think of that's related to your business and tossing it into one ad group. On the flip side of that coin, not enough keywords. If you only have one or two exact match keywords, or you're targeting a specific location like a handful of zip codes or a small city in the Midwest, or maybe even a small town, it just may not be enough to trigger enough searches and enough impressions, and therefore low impressions result in your advertising budget not being spent. If your campaign is new, perhaps your account has been around for a while and you just launched a new campaign. Perhaps that campaign has a different website or a different landing page. That too can cause Google to take a closer look at what's going on in your account, and therefore it could take a little bit longer for your campaign to start serving impressions and spending your budget. You recently changed your bid strategy. So if you went from a manual CPC bid strategy to a maximized conversion strategy, then Google's going to take 5-7 days, sometimes even longer. I've seen campaigns be in the learning phase for more than 7 days. So, and if you switch back and forth, so if you decided manual CPC and you decided, oh, I want to change it over to, maximize conversions, and then decide the next day that you want to switch it back to manual CPC, it's going to have to go through that learning phase again. So be careful. Just be aware that when you do change bid strategy, it take some time, and it's pretty common. Your bids are too low. So if your bids are too low, your keywords are not showing up on the first page of Google, and therefore not enough people are seeing it. Do people make it to the page 2 of Google? Sure. But, it's very hard to get ad performance when you're on page 2 of Google. So if your bids are too low, try increasing your bids until you start seeing impressions. And once you start seeing impressions, you have to monitor the impressions to make sure that you actually start getting clicks. Because if you start getting impressions, if you go from 0 to 20 impressions a day and you're not getting any clicks, it means you're not getting in front of the people, and you just have to keep increasing your cost per click until you start getting clicks. Same thing with bid strategies. If you choose the wrong bid strategy, if you tell Google you want 1,000% ROAS, that's unrealistic, and you're not going to get as much impressions and much visibility if your CPA is, your ROAS or your target CPA is not realistic. Not having enough ad groups, as I said earlier, having too many keywords is a problem, but also having not enough ad groups could be a problem. If you have a tight budget, having too many keywords in an ad group can cause your keywords not to show. So what I typically do is, if the budget is tight, I create really tight focused ad groups with a certain amount of keywords, maybe 4 or 5 keywords, and then spend the budget to that one ad group. Once I get enough data to determine which keywords are doing well and which keywords aren't, I'll pause the ones that aren't, and then take that budget that I'm not using and then open up another ad group and then split the budget between the two. Trying to do too many keywords or too many ad groups at one time, especially if you're limited on budget, is going to pose a problem. And low budget is notorious. I come across this a lot. If your budget is too low and your target cost per click is your target cost per click is close to your daily spend. So if you're saying you want to spend $10 a day, but your average cost per click is $4 or $7, Google may decide that they're not going to even bother showing your ads, because they know once they start serving it, there's a good chance you're going to go over the daily budget. And also, sometimes if Google thinks there's an opportunity to spend your budget, because even if you say your budget is $10 a day and your $10 a day budget is $300 a month, Google will tell you when you set up the budget that Google knows what your daily budget is, but that you understand that Google may go over that daily budget, but will not exceed your monthly budget if it sees an opportunity to get you some conversions. So it could blow through your monthly budget in a week, and then your ads just won't run for the rest of the month. So if your budget is too low, limit the number of keywords you have or increase your budget. Low budget is, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do. If you don't have enough money to run a decent test, then hold on to your money until you do. Because what will happen is, if you have too many keywords or too many ad groups, you're never going to get enough data to find out which keywords work and which keywords don't. Because if you have 100 keywords and 2 get clicked one day and a different 2 get clicked the other day, and next week a different set of 2 keywords get clicked, you're never going to get enough conversions. And at the end of the month, you're going to say, Google Ads doesn't work for me. And the reality is your budget just wasn't on par with the number of keywords, or your idea of what a cost per click is unrealistic. You're thinking, oh, it should be $3, but in reality it's more like $12. Then you're not going to get the performance that you want out of your campaign. The wrong bid strategy: if you decided you wanted to start your campaign with maximize conversions, but Google doesn't have conversion data on your account, then it can't run and maximize conversions, or there's no conversions at all in your account. You're tracking them, but Google hasn't seen any conversions in your account, a good amount, 15, 20, 25, then doing a maximize conversion is going to warrant Google to not spend your money, because it doesn't have enough data to know what to spend that money on. So hopefully you found this presentation brief and informative. If you have any specific questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you would like me to make a video on a specific topic around SEO or Google Ads specifically, please share that below. Thanks.